In the history of RuneScape, there has only ever been one true client that accomplished the feat of successfully carrying out RuneScape cheats. A client that truly allowed you to break the game, generating items, attacking unattackable NPCs, casting spells without runes or a target, achieving the seemingly impossible. No other client was advanced enough to take advantage of Jagex before the company became more sophisticated, and any other client that used similar methods came after this one. I'm talking about AutoRune, one of the first cheat clients that was made and used in 2002, which means we're talking about the days of RuneScape Classic. But back then, it was just RuneScape. This story starts sometime before September of 2002, when a young man named Kitenik found RuneScape. He didn't really like the game and went to a cheat forum back then called rbcheats.com to look for some RuneScape cheats, which he soon realized were basically all keyloggers. So it turns out the OG community was just as toxic as we are today. Fast forward to September 2002. The host of a new RuneScape cheat forum named Evil Cow God heard about a new macro from one of his users, Kitenik. Kitenik named his macro AutoRune. Evil Cow God tested AutoRune and quickly realized it was much more advanced than any previous attempt to cheat in RuneScape. The two agreed Kitenik could advertise AutoRune on Evil Cow God's forum. But why was AutoRune so special? Well, it was the OG packet manipulation cheat client. That's why it's so important. Packets are sent from the RuneScape client to the server when, for example, you click on a tree. AutoRune inserts itself between the client and the server so you can send packets to the server to chop down a tree without actually clicking on it because AutoRune sent the command, tricking the server into thinking you did it. Jagex was wholly unprepared for this, and over the next year, AutoRune wreaked havoc on RuneScape. There had been a couple basic bots before AutoRune, but AutoRune was a more reliable way to bot, and making more complex scripts was much easier. One of the first scripts on AutoRune was a mining and smithing bot. These bots could mine the ore in Varrock East Mine, smelt it into bars in Lumbridge, then smith the bars in Varrock, bank, and repeat. A level of complexity no other bot had even come close to. Kitenik knew he had made something valuable and began selling authorization keys to AutoRune for $10 or $15 each. I don't know exact numbers, but a lot of people bought AutoRune, and the bot script repository grew significantly. Botting became known as autoing because of AutoRune's name and prominence. No one was banned. There was no system in place to catch autoers. Until December 13th of 2002. All of a sudden, 50 accounts were banned, all linked to AutoRune. A Jagex mod had signed up for the AutoRune trial period and figured out a simple trick to flag if an account was using the software. The cheating community was tight-knit, organized, and were on a much more level playing field against Jagex than present day. Equipped with packet manipulation techniques Jagex hadn't used to test their own game. They retaliated quickly. As most of you know, banker NPCs in RuneScape were never meant to be attacked. But if you used AutoRune to tell the server to attack the banker, your character could actually kill RuneScape bankers. So the AutoRune community started massacring bankers in popular locations in protest of Jagex's banning of 50 users. And it really pissed off the mods. Kitenik quickly fixed Jagex's detection method, but within a few months, Jagex changed the network protocol, making the Java applets undecompilable so that AutoRune couldn't decompile and recompile RuneScape. Kitenik easily fixed AutoRune permanently, making any Java obfuscator unable to stop AutoRune. But after the mass banning, he decided to keep AutoRune completely under the radar and only let intelligent and useful people join, basically creating a small team of cheaters who all had a deep understanding of RuneScape coding. They called themselves ARC, which stands for the AutoRune Crew. No one really knows exactly what ARC did at this time, but they definitely made a lot of gold from it. By this time, it was November 6, 2003. AutoRune was the longest standing cheat client. On this day, Kitenik released an auto-trading feature to the tight-knit community. A user by the name of 6 Feet Under was using the new feature when he realized it could be used to create any non-stackable item. You didn't even need the item you were duping, so you were literally creating items from nothing. 6 Feet Under told Kitenik and 4 others about what he had found, and they started generating party hats, which even back then were the most rare and expensive items. At first, the group sold pink party hats, the rarest ones, for 5 mil each. One of them spilled the secret, which turned into a mass showing of the cheating community's power in Varrock Square and Lumbridge, as thousands of rare party hats and Santa hats were generated. Soon, RuneScape dissolved into chaos as they cracked Christmas crackers with other players and spread the wealth to all the noobs. By the end of the day, pink party hats were going for 100k. Bonebreaker 6 was the top-ranked player on the high scores above even Zezima. In these screenshots, even he is trading the dupers to get rare items. Every player wanted to take part while Jagex sat and watched helplessly. Somewhere in the shadows, 2 members of the group generated drag dragon square shields and alked them, although they were worth a lot more than their alk value. 6 Feet Under claims those two made 1 billion GP each and got away with it. Here's how it worked. If you used AutoRune to tell the server you put quantity 0 of an item into a trade with another player, the game would think you had quantity 0, but the player you were trading had quantity 1 of that item in the trade screen. When the trade was accepted, the player received the non-existent items. As you can see in this screenshot, the party hats in the trade screen do not appear in the player's inventory. In RuneScape Classic, they are supposed to appear in both, like in this example. Party hats were the most expensive items, so the game's economy was altered forever. Pink party hats, called purple in RS3 now, were the rarest and duped the most. Because of this, in RS2 and later RS3, the purple colored party hats are the cheapest. The effects of ARC's actions are still heavily present in RuneScape 17 years later. Jagex did their best to ban the accounts with thousands of rare items obviously generated, but since item IDs are universally the same for each individual item, there was no mechanism in place to distinguish legitimate party hats from generated ones. Thousands of party hats slipped through the cracks. Some lucky players were made billionaires back when most people couldn't scrape together 1 mil. After this event, most of ARC's accounts were banned, and Kitenik made AutoRune public. Huge chunks of the community started auto-runing, for auto-fishing, auto-fighting, and auto-mining scripts. With more people using AutoRune, more exploits were uncovered. Players figured out how to cast spells without runes or a target, getting tons of magic XP quickly, safely, and for free. You could also create a character without a body. It only showed up on the minimap and when a mouse hovered over it, so you were truly invisible. This would be ridiculously overpowered in the wilderness. There were many others, some more just for fun, like being able to attack and kill your own character in the wilderness, or of course being able to create a male character with a beard. AutoRune really took over RuneScape at that time. With AutoRune public, Jagex found a way to detect the client, and on January 2nd of 2004, another ban wave came. Kitenik lost interest and didn't fix AutoRune. Kitenik slowly faded from the RuneScape cheating community and left this final message goodbye. He said, "My purpose in this cheating community from the very beginning was to educate the cheaters, to get out of their heads that stupid ideology they have had for too long a time. Download, run, hope it's not a Trojan. From the very beginning, my cheats were different. All cheats before AutoRune were simple. You launched them and pressed the button, it was running. My cheats required scripting, which is a step to programming. I could not decide if I should say this or not. The main reason why I leave is, I'm different than you. Why am I cheating? It's an intellectual challenge for me. I'm not doing this for the money or the skills. I have seen you lie. I have seen you scam. I have seen you fight. I don't like it. I hope you would change, and I still do. However, I wish RuneScape cheating a long life. Remember guys, you used to be like those noobs that join our channels and ask for cheats to be sent to their email. Look at yourself now. Look at how clever you have become, how much you know, how much you can tell and do. You are the best when you want to, and you are the best. You are members of the most powerful RuneScape cheating community ever. Always remember that." While I researched this video, I came across a lot of different facts and images, so let's go through some of my favorites. Back during the AutoRune era, JMods would actually teleport suspected botters or orchestrators of rule breaking. This is a screenshot of Paul Gower teleporting a player named Kevin PK to level 54 Wilderness because he was caught botting on the Khazard battlefield. I wish Jagex teleported botters into dangerous areas today. Here's Mod Mark teleporting some player who was making trouble. Or for example, during the banker killing riot after the first AutoRune ban wave, Kitenik himself was teleported out of the area. This one's pretty random. Here's a loading screen of one of the older bots from the 2004-ish era. After Kitenik let AutoRune die, the source code was leaked and someone revived the client under the name Ashirun. At some point there was a keylogger in there, and Mod Mark downloaded Ashirun probably to see what it could do, and his account was hijacked. Kitenik posted some AutoRune achievements of players on his website, including himself. He actually had a level 40 with 99 mining that could mine runite ore in the wilderness without most players being able to attack him. He set up a group of AutoRune bots to mine supplies needed to smelt the runite ores into bars. Others posted about dropping 200 to 500 million GP, I'm guessing during the dupe, but that just gives you an idea of how much money was leaked into the game at a time when the economy was in its early stages. Kitenik could manipulate visuals on the client side, so he could tell the client to show things in RuneScape out of place, like this moss giant in a house or a ship in the middle of a field. Also notice the advertisement at the bottom of the window saying don't use RuneScape cheats, helpers, or automakers. He could also show spawned items all over the place. This didn't actually happen on the server side of the game, it was just visuals on the client side, but I'm sure he trolled a lot of people with the screenshots. The first bots in the history of RuneScape were mouse recordings using software called Ghost Mouse. Then the first known botting software that players could actually download and run was likely an auto miner and auto fisher script made by someone named Pyrax. Pyrax's script and Ghost Mouse was made obsolete when Jagex added a slight screen rotation notification so that after 4 to 7 minutes, the scripts would mess up. I'll link this one in the description, but there's actually an AutoRune Rap, and it's pretty good. I didn't want to just yank it for the video, but go check it out. It's absolutely hilarious. Would you like me to continue the history of RuneScape cheating? Let me know by liking this video and leaving a comment. Also, if you know anything about RuneScape botting, cheating, or exploits in the 2004 to 2012 era, and have footage or screenshots, reach out at sirpuggertipoff@gmail.com or DM me on Twitter at sirpugger. Lastly, RuneScape Classic is now discontinued, and I want to shout out the server that let me film this video, RSCVanilla. Since this isn't a Jagex company, I will say use at your own risk and discretion, but they were super helpful in the making of this video. I'll link them below. Obviously, this isn't a sponsorship, they just spawned some stuff in to help me make the vid.